Are you really stuck, or are you avoiding something? Because those are not the same thing, and most people never separate the two. They say they feel stuck. They say they don't know what to do. They say they feel blocked, confused, unsure. But if they slowed down and looked closer, they would see something else. Not a lack of direction, a pattern of avoidance. Avoidance of a conversation. Avoidance of a decision. Avoidance of a truth that feels inconvenient. Being stuck feels passive. It feels like something is happening to you. Like you are waiting for clarity to arrive. Like you are waiting for the right moment to appear. Like you are waiting for something outside of you to change. But avoidance is active. It is a choice. Not always conscious, but repeated. You feel something, and you turn away. You recognize something, and you distract yourself. You know something needs to change, and you delay. That is not being stuck. That is avoiding movement. Avoidance often looks like overthinking. You replay scenarios. You analyze outcomes. You try to predict what will happen. And you tell yourself that this is productive. But thinking is not movement. Analyzing is not movement. Replaying the same thought in different forms is not movement. It is delay. And delay creates the illusion of being stuck. Because nothing changes. You stay in the same place, with the same thoughts, with the same patterns, and eventually, you label it, I'm stuck. But what you are actually experiencing is the result of not acting on what you already see. Because most of the time, you do see it. You know where something is off. You know what you have been putting off. You know what decision you are avoiding. The awareness is there. But awareness without action creates friction. That friction is what feels like being stuck. It is the tension between knowing and not moving. And that tension builds. It shows up as restlessness, as frustration, as a constant sense that something is not right. And instead of addressing the source, most people try to escape the feeling. They distract themselves. They stay busy. They fill their time. They look for something new to focus on. But distraction does not resolve avoidance. It only delays it. Because what you are avoiding does not disappear. It waits. It stays present beneath everything else. And the longer you avoid it, the heavier it feels. Not because it changed. Because your resistance increased. This is why things begin to feel overwhelming. Not because everything is too much, because something specific is being ignored. And ignoring it requires energy. Energy to suppress. Energy to distract. Energy to maintain the illusion that everything is fine. That is exhausting. And that exhaustion gets labeled as being stuck. But again, it is not stuck. It is misdirected energy. Energy that could be used for movement. Being used for avoidance. The shift begins with honesty. Not surface-level honesty. Real honesty. The kind that does not soften the truth. The kind that does not create a more comfortable version. The kind that says, clearly, what is actually happening. I know what I need to do. I have been avoiding it. I have been delaying it. That level of honesty changes everything. Because it removes the illusion. It removes the idea that you are waiting for something external. It brings the focus back to you. Your decisions, your actions, your patterns. And that is where your power is. Not in waiting. In choosing. Avoidance loses strength when it is seen clearly. Because once you recognize it, you can no longer fully pretend it is something else. You can still delay. You can still hesitate. But you will know what you are doing. And that awareness begins to break the pattern. Because now, every moment becomes a choice. Avoid again. Or move. Delay again. Or decide. Distract again. Or face it directly. And the more you choose to face it, even in small ways, the weaker avoidance becomes. You do not need to solve everything at once. You do not need to make the perfect decision. You do not need to eliminate uncertainty. You need to stop turning away. That is the first step, turning toward what you have been avoiding, looking at it directly, without immediately trying to fix it, without running from it, without distracting yourself from it, just seeing it clearly, because clarity creates direction, and direction creates movement. Once you see something clearly, action becomes simpler. Not easier, but simpler. The path is no longer hidden. It is just uncomfortable. And discomfort is what avoidance protects you from. But discomfort is also where change begins. If you continue to avoid discomfort, you continue to avoid growth. If you continue to avoid truth, you continue to avoid alignment. And if you continue to avoid action, you continue to feel stuck. So the question is not, how do I get unstuck? The question is, what am I avoiding? Because the answer to that question will show you exactly where your next step is. And once you take that step, something shifts. Not everything, but enough. Enough to create movement. Enough to change your state. Enough to build momentum. And momentum is what dissolves the feeling of being stuck. Because movement changes perception. It changes energy. It changes how you see yourself. You begin to recognize something important. You were never stuck. You were paused. Paused by hesitation. Paused by avoidance. Paused by the decision not to act. And once you act, even in a small way, the pause ends. You begin moving again, and that movement builds trust. Trust that you can face things. Trust that you can handle discomfort. Trust that you can move forward without having everything figured out. That is where confidence comes from. Not from certainty, from action, from choosing to engage with what you have been avoiding, from deciding that avoidance is no longer your default. This is how identity changes. Not by thinking differently, by acting differently, by showing yourself, repeatedly, that you are someone who moves, someone who decides, someone who faces things directly. And over time, that becomes your new pattern. Movement instead of delay, action instead of avoidance, clarity instead of confusion. Because confusion often hides avoidance. And clarity often requires courage. The courage to look, the courage to decide, the courage to move. So if you feel stuck, do not ask what is wrong. Ask what you are avoiding. And be honest with the answer. Because in that answer is your next step. And in that step is your way forward.